All right. How do you stop the nighttime binge eating that soothes the mind before bed? Okay. This is so common, nighttime snacking, nighttime binging right before bed, especially because it's been a long, stressful day at work. And for a lot of people, this is really the only time that you just get a moment to yourself to relax. So, the first thing that I would say is a lot of the times people will try to change what they're eating or what they're not eating late at night, but actually, ending nighttime binging actually starts with what you're doing during the day. So, what most people do is they'll say, I don't want to be binging at night. So, at night, instead of binging, I'm going to tell myself to just go to bed early. I'm going to tell myself to just not snack. I'm going to tell myself, or I'm going to try to not snack. But what I actually encourage you to do is two things. Number one, I would be making sure that you are actually experiencing both pleasure and joy throughout the day. Because what often happens is the reason why people turn to food at night, that's the only relaxation time. That's the only time for pleasure. It's like you're looking forward to that pleasure late at night because you might be go, 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 go all day. So can you take more breaks throughout the day? Can you experience more pleasure and joy throughout the day? Now, even if you're working, doesn't matter what you're doing throughout the day, there are things that you could be doing. For example, even getting up 5 minutes earlier, and instead of rushing to have your cup of coffee or your cup of tea, can you drink it a little bit slower? Can you maybe spend 5 minutes meditating before heading out to work? If you have a lunch break, instead of like rushing through your meal, can you actually sit down and enjoy the meal that you're having? So that's the first thing that I would recommend. And then the second thing, when it comes to nighttime binging, habitual snacking, emotional eating, what I would say is what foods are you binging on in the evening that you're not allowing yourself to have during the day? I see this with so many clients. It's like 99.9% of the time. The foods that you are binging on in the evenings are foods I guarantee you're not actually allowing yourself to have throughout the day. So if this is like, oh, well, I'm trying to eat super healthy all day, and then come the evening, you're binging on 5 tubs of ice cream, maybe you can start allowing yourself to have some ice cream in the middle of the day so that it's not like this like special big food where it's like, oh my gosh, I've been restricted all day. And then, I just finally get that pleasure and that joy in the evening. So I would really ask yourself, what foods are you binging on at night? And can you start having maybe some of those foods during the day? I actually did this on my journey. So I used to always come home and I would always binge on chocolate at night. Why? Because I never allowed myself to have it during the day. And then the moment I started actually bringing in snacks with me and like allowing myself to have some chocolate during the day, or like, I would make these like homemade brownies or homemade cookies and I would enjoy some during the day. It's like, oh, I felt very satisfied. I got my cravings met. So I didn't feel so impulsive at night. I didn't feel the need to like rush home and binge in the evening. So that would be my answer. Okay, wow, so many of you guys are popping on. If you're popping on, say hello, drop a question in the chat. Katie, what's the difference between overeating versus binge eating? Can you give me an example on an amount? Okay, great question. So overeating and binge eating are very different. I want you to think of the main difference between somebody who overeats and somebody who binges is the feeling that somebody gets when they eat. It's not necessarily the amount. Let me give you an example. One person can eat 4 slices of pizza and they're with their friends, let's say at a party, they're not doing it in secret. And it's like, oh, probably didn't need 4 slices, but it was really good. And there's no like secrecy. It's just like, I probably didn't need 4 slices. That's overeating. Compared to somebody who's home alone and it's like no one's watching, you're standing up and it's like, I need to eat right now. It's like this out of body experience. You don't even taste the pizza. It still might be 4 slices, but it's in a way where it's like no one's watching me. It's this out of body experience. It's this like surge of energy, this rush of anxiety. Like I need to eat it all right now. That is binge eating. So Katie, it's the feeling that you get. Binging is typically done in secret. Most of the time, people who overeat don't maybe necessarily do it in secret. It might be like at a restaurant, right? You know, when you go to a restaurant and you might like, you're like, I'm full. I don't need any more food, but it's just so good. And you're with people, maybe you're with your partner, you're with some friends and you just overeat. But binge eating, it's like, you're not going to binge in front of other people where you're standing up and scarfing food down your throat. That's the biggest difference. Okay. How do you manage the part in the stomach that feels so full after a binge? Is help for recovery possible? 100%. Message me. Message me. If you guys are struggling with binge eating and you're looking for support, please message me. So, I mean, being full post binge is normal, right? Like you've just consumed so many calories, but this is where I recommend all of you guys need to practice the pause. You need to practice the pause. Drop pause in the chat box. If you're here with me live, drop pause in the chat box. Literally write pause in the chat box. Okay. So what I mean by pausing is you need to bring more intentionality. I was telling this to my clients the other day on a coaching call yesterday. I said, if you were so intentional, yes, it's amazing that you guys dropped it all in the chat. If you were so intentional and you slowed down and you were paying attention and you paid attention to how do certain foods make me feel, right? You're checking in, you know, how, like on a scale of 1 to 10, you know, 10 meaning like I'm so full, 1, I'm ravenous. Where am I at before a meal, during a meal, after a meal? I put my utensils down while I'm eating. It's almost going to be impossible for you to overeat. It's impossible for you to binge when you are so like present. And so if you can bring more intentionality, and practice the pause, so you're not in autopilot mode, that will help you slow down, feel more connected to your body, and be more able to stop eating when you're full. Okay. Let's see here. Katie said, can you be a slow eater and binge eating, or is that more overeating? So binge eating is typically like this fast, right? It's like consuming so much at once, but you can still be a slow eater and be binging because it's like it's like the numbing out. Like if you're, let's say, watching a movie and you have a bowl of popcorn and then you have some ice cream and then you have a bag of chips and then you go for the ice cream, you can eat that like over an extended period of time, but it's like you're just numbed out. It's like you're just zoned out, you know? So it really is a combination of overeating and binge eating, because overeating really does eventually turn into binge eating. Let's see here. Should you eat normal the day after eating? Yes, yes. Even if you've just binge or you've just overeaten, you 100% want to eat normally the next day, because that's literally, if think about it. When you try to restrict the next day after a binge, you're telling yourself, I failed. I messed up. Now we need to compensate. And we want to get out of that restrict binge cycle. So if you try to eat normally, if you want to try to eat, if you are able to eat normally the next day, and you wake up and you have your breakfast when you're hungry, and then you have your lunch and you have your same snacks and you're not depriving yourself, you're out of that restrict binge cycle, which you can be preventing a binge. You can be preventing a binge. If you've just binged and you're like, now I'm going to restrict myself, well, that's going to cause another binge. Let's see. Did you learn from your personal life? Yes, I got support. Of course, this is so important to get coaching and support. And if you guys are looking for coaching and support, I do have a few different programs. You guys can message me. But I also did struggle with binge eating and restricting for 10 years of my life. And once I learned how to rewire my brain and get rid of my urges, I was able to feel way less impulsive with food. I stopped fearing food. I stopped obsessing over it. I stopped having constant food thoughts all day. So now I can just go about my day, just eat when I'm hungry and I stop when I'm full. I enjoy chocolate when I want some. Like today I had, after lunch, I made myself, I love rice cake. So I put rice cake, almond butter, dark chocolate, honey on top, and I just move on with my day. Like it's not that big of a deal. I don't think about food. I just go about my day. Let's see here. What is something you can do instead of binging? Well, okay, so here's the thing. So many people try to replace binge eating with something that's not nearly as pleasurable. So people will often say, which I don't recommend doing this, but people will often try to do is they'll say, okay, instead of binging, go for a walk. Instead of binging, go take a bath. I am so sorry, but you're not going to want to go take a bath or go for a walk when you feel impulsive and you have this urge. So what you actually need to do instead is you got to create a state change. Can you drop state change in the chat? Who's here with me? Drop state change in the chat box. State change. What I mean by this is you have to change how your body is physically feeling. So doing things like breath work, doing things like taking a cold shower, doing things like literally shaking your body, it creates a state change. You are regulating your nervous system. That is way more effective. Hi, Haley. Hi, April. Sherry's here. That is way more effective than trying to tell yourself, don't do it. How many of you have told yourself, instead of binging, just go for a walk? It's not going to work. I tried for so many years. And in fact, you're going to go for a walk. You're going to be thinking about food all day long throughout the entire walk, and you're going to come home and you're going to end up binging. So instead, can you create a state change? Breath work. I'm a breath work facilitator as well too. I do this with my clients. Certain breathing techniques. That will regulate your nervous system. Shaking, literally shaking your body, splashing cold water on your face, hopping in a cold shower. That creates a state change. When your body physically feels different, you're going to mentally think differently as well too. And it's super, super, super effective. But more important than that, you have to prevent the urges from arising in the first place, because it would be so much easier for you to not have urges if you prevent them from arising, right? So you can do all the things to create a state change in your body, which is very effective. I've had clients, they're like, I splash cold water on my face, and they're like, I didn't even want to binge anymore. So those tools are very effective, but also what can you be doing to prevent those urges from arising in the first place? Honoring your cravings, having more satisfying meals, right? Meditating, all of those things are so important. I hate thinking about food when I'm working out. Well, Haley, I would ask yourself, number one, are you actually hungry when you're working out? Because some people are like, I don't want to look bloated when I'm doing my workout. So some people don't eat a lot before doing their workout. So I would ask yourself that. Number two, are you actually having satisfying meals? Because if you had satisfying meals, you wouldn't be thinking about food. And then number three, maybe you're actually thinking about food a lot when you're working out because of body image. It's like, oh, I don't like the way my arms look. Oh, I don't like the way my stomach looks. And then you automatically think about food when you're also dealing with body image struggles as well too. So those are a few different reasons why when you're working out, you also might be thinking about food. Okay, any other questions do we have here? Also, I don't have satisfying meals. Okay, Haley, you got to up the satisfaction. I'm telling you right now, like this was a game changer on my journey. I love eating healthy. Who else loves eating healthy? I love eating nourishing meals. It makes me feel so good. But also, like, I'm sorry, plain chicken and plain broccoli, like, it's not satisfying. Like, what do you actually want to eat? Like, so maybe a satisfying meal might be some broccoli and chicken if you enjoy that, but also maybe you have some potatoes. Maybe you also have like some dark chocolate on the side. Like, what's actually going to be satisfying for you? It's so important. A huge reason why I don't think about food is because I'm so satisfied throughout the day. I have my, I have my pancakes in the morning, which I absolutely love. I look forward to my lunch. I look forward to all my snacks and all my dinners. I always have different go-to satisfying lunches. Like I always have something different. I don't have the same thing every single day. Something I actually really enjoyed a salad. Just bear with me. You're like a salad. Okay, what the hell? That's shit. I would have a salad and I would put beef in it. I would have dried cranberries with pistachio. So it's like sweet and salty with beef. And then I sometimes would even cut up apples and then have some rice on this side, feta cheese, pickles, mustard. Yeah. Oh, and a goat cheese I would add on my salad as well too. And olives. Cheese and olives or cheese and pickles. Yes, it's like such a good combination. One of my favorite snacks is like sweet and salty. So I love dark chocolate and pistachios. So good. How do you rebuild the trust in yourself after trying for many years, different books, methods? Okay. You don't build up trust by reading a book. You build up trust by taking action. So what I mean by this, if you want to trust yourself around chocolate, but you're just reading a book about chocolate, you're not actually going to trust yourself. You actually need to allow yourself to have the chocolate in order to build up that trust. So this is why I'm big on taking action, right? So again, I would ask yourself, what do you want to start trusting yourself around? Is it around a certain food? You actually have to allow yourself to have that food, right? Like if you don't allow yourself to have that food, you're not going to trust yourself around it. Trust takes time, you guys. Trust takes time. I used to never trust myself like with certain foods, but I had to allow myself to have those foods in order to trust myself around them. Right? Maybe I had a client that was like, I honestly, chocolate cake. Every time I have chocolate cake, I can't trust myself around chocolate cake because as soon as I have chocolate cake, I always end up binging on it. And so I told her, I said, well, the reason why you're binging on the chocolate cake is because you're not allowing yourself to actually have it. And so she didn't. I said, listen, the next time you crave chocolate cake, actually allow yourself to have it. And she got to a point where she's like, it's literally so sweet. She's like, it's so sweet to me. She's like, I don't even feel like it. Or she'll have some, but she wouldn't binge on it. And that's because she built up trust by allowing herself to have it. The trust in being able to succeed. Okay, well, you got to get the right support. So come join our badass community. And also, so a lot of the times people will say, I actually have a podcast episode on this. It is episode, let me pull it up. Episode 658 of the Ditch Decade Diets podcast, episode 658, go listen to it. But the fastest way to actually believe that you can succeed is by taking action. So just bear with me. If you say, I don't know if I can succeed, so I'm going to wait until I actually believe that I can do this to then take action, we're going to be waiting a long time. versus starting to take action, practicing not giving into your urges, right? Slowing down your meals, taking the action, you're going to get the result, which is then going to shift your beliefs. Versus I need to wait till I have a result and then I can believe that I can do it. It doesn't work like that. You actually have to take the action to then get a result, to then actually shift your beliefs of like, oh, I actually can do this. I've had clients come to me, they're like, I don't know if I can do this. And I'm like, perfect. That's okay. I teach them the brain-based tools. They practice not giving into their urges. They start rewiring their brain. They're starting to have less food thoughts. And they're like, oh, wait, I can't believe I'm not really thinking about food as much. Oh my God, I was not able to give into an urge and I was home alone. Oh my God, I just baked with my daughter and I didn't even want the full thing. I just had one cupcake and that's it. They took the action, which created a result, which then helped them believe, oh my gosh, maybe I actually can do this. So hopefully that's helpful for you. All right, you guys, this was fantastic. I'm going to pop off. If you are looking for a place to get started with healing your relationship with food, jump inside of the Root and Rewire membership. It's my 6 or 12-month program that's designed to teach you exactly the steps on how to actually rewire your brain out of binge eating. What this actually means is how to get out of the all or nothing mentality so you can stop seeing food as good versus bad, how to stop secret eating, how to be able to process your emotions without self-soothing with food, what to do before, during, and after a binge. There's literally all the trainings you need. There's the community. We have coaching calls every single month where you get my personalized coaching in a group setting. So I would 100% start there. If you're looking for a place to get started to heal your relationship with food and stop binge eating, join the Root and Rewire membership. You guys are so welcome, Haley. And a nutrition coach here. Hello. You're so welcome. Join the membership. If you have any questions about the membership, you can message me. But this is a fantastic place to start. It's an incredible place to start. So go to the link in my bio, join, and then message me when you join us. And I can't wait to see you on the next coaching call. All right, you guys, have a beautiful rest of your day, your night, your evening, your morning, wherever you are in the world. And we will see you guys soon. Okay, bye.